It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Good?
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's made it to a Friday. All right, what's in the news? Hillary. And it's not the Valium story.
No.
Ex-President Joe Biden's former chief of staff, Ron Klain, told House investigators that Hillary Clinton approached him with concerns about Biden's political viability by 2024, Fox News Digital has learned. Now, it's very important they say by 2024. It should be, was that early 2024 or December of 2024?
Well, or December of 2023, right? By 2024? If they mean by that year, it would mean prior to that year, the way I take it.
Okay.
Good. So,
all right, that's what when you read the story, I mean, that's what they talk about, for example, with Jake Sullivan here.
Yeah, right.
Klain spoke with the staff on the House Oversight Committee for over 5 hours on Thursday as Committee Chairman James Comer continues to probe whether top Biden aides concealed signs of mental decline in the ex-president. This is all because of the auto pen. A source familiar with his voluntary interview told Fox News Digital that Klain believed Biden was mentally sharp enough to serve as president and was not too old to run, but the ex-Secretary of State and former Biden National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, both approached, that would be Hillary Clinton and Jake Sullivan, both approached Ron Klain, stating that they believed Joe Biden was not politically viable months before he dropped his reelection bid in July of 2024. So by the 2024 would fit that definition right there,
right.
Because they told him and approached him and told him way before the debate.
Mm-hmm.
Sullivan told Klain that Biden was less effective in 2024 compared to 2022. It's not immediately clear if Biden's mental acuity was the reasoning for their doubts, nor if they made the case to Klain together or separately. But it's a significant indictment coming from the top national Democrats of Biden in general, long before concerns about his fitness for office within the party were made public knowledge. Mm-hmm. We all knew it years before.
Right.
It was the public acknowledgement there, which then brings us to the entire ambient thing. As we said, you were the one who came up with that idea about the was it you who came up with it?
What?
We were talking about the Ambien. Was it you or me who came up with the conspiracy theory that, did they give him the Ambien so he would stink? Did Hunter Biden say that because that's the excuse? That he was okay, and they were trying to...
That was my conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to have a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Which, by the way...
not? It's Friday.
The way that the Democrats, that the party, and now we're being told Hillary and Jake Sullivan and others had concern. Here, Joe, here's your medication. This will prepare you for the debate. I mean, it's
a little upper for you.
Yeah.
That was a downer.
This will make you peppy. Peppy, Joe. Use the word peppy. He knows what that means. Peppy. Say peppy. It wouldn't be if that came out and were proven true. I'd go, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Hey, don't sit there and say, guys, stop delving in conspiracy theories about the Ambien. Well, Hunter Biden said he was on it.
Hunter started. I'm not the one smoking crack.
And he implied that he was on it, which means, he took a pill before he went on the debate stage.
Because my first question when he said that was, who gave him Ambien?
Yeah.
Where did he get the Ambien?
Well,
even if it's in that day's, the pill box where here's your morning meds and here's your evening meds. Has all the letters for the day of the week, that thing.
When I travel,
Mm-hmm.
I have a pill box.
Yeah.
That means I'm old.
Now, is it separated into days?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, I have a pill box. I got it right here. You want some? It's
What you got?
I don't know.
Oh, look, it's a potpourri.
I can lower your cholesterol, though. I can thin
Eric's taking pills on the air.
I can thin your blood.
Any Ambien? Any Ambien in there?
No.
Valium?
No. No.
Harmless supplements?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all
B12?
It's all crap.
Okay.
There's no street value on this.
No.
And my B12 is liquid too, so that's like.
Let me see what I got.
I didn't even get that.
Let me see what I got in my wallet for you.
Yeah.
What can I get? What can I get for a 20?
Yeah, exactly. The whole pill box. But it would I would have stopped it right there. Whoa. He took Ambien. Who gave him Ambien? Because even if he had his pill box, right, it's all lined out, regimented, the whole thing. Make sure he doesn't take his Ambien, because tonight is the big debate.
Which then led us to the conspiracy theory. They knew about it, right? Because didn't his testimony add that everybody knew about it?
Right.
Months before.
Yep.
They denied it, but they knew it.
Yep. Well, look, I don't know that I buy that he was on Ambien. It's
neither do I.
It's but if it were true, who gave him the Ambien? By the way, that would be a horrible excuse. If Hunter is lying about that, thinking that would work, that's a horrible one.
No, Joe Rogan thinks he might be a great president, so
exactly.
I don't think Hunter would lie at all, ever, about anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that entire chain of events, leading up to Joe being pushed aside and Kamala being ushered in. Now, here's my question. Hillary approaches with concern about Joe Biden's viability. What personal interest would Hillary have?
That's right. You can't. There's nothing you can get out of any of this as soon as you start saying, well, what could Hillary's motivation have been at this point?
Because are you going to say, oh, she's just worried about the party? Oh, come on. Oh, she's just worried about Joe. Please.
So what you're saying is you would have to look at Hillary's self-interest.
Exactly.
Are you making that? Are you trying to make that point?
Yes,
that it would
I
be
am.
Her self-interest.
That's right. Knock, knock. Hey, guys, he's not politically
Wait a minute,
viable.
though. This makes sense, though. Hey, guys, look. Hillary knows. This is inside the Democratic Party.
Right.
Hillary knows. So, hey, somebody feed him Ambien. Make sure he's off. This will be so late.
Or
we'll just appoint. We're not going to have any type of primary. We got to keep Hillary out. Appoint Harris.
Or
okay, I'm missing one.
Hillary gets her hands on some Ambien.
Well, she had the Valium, according to
she gets her
Russian intelligence.
She gets her friends in the deep state to convince Joe. Look, it's candy. Next thing you know, he's all on the debate stage. Look, after the Russian hoax, everything has to be considered.
No, you're right. After everything that we know about the Russia hoax, and how we know from original sin. They hid Biden and what he was going through. And remember, that's all written by Democrats. We're just following. If we were saying this in a vacuum, you might be able to say, guys, come on, can you move on? Because you're just talking about conspiracy theories. But based on everything that has happened since 2016,
right,
conspiracy theories become legitimate ideas of what might have happened. They become possibilities that an investigator needs to investigate. You know, the police will look at some and go, we don't think there's anything there, but we got to check it out anyway. Right?
Yeah.
And you base it on a totality of what you know about all the people that are involved in the particular incident that you're looking at, based on what you know they have also done in the past.
Exactly.
You may not be able to use it in court, but you use it as part of your investigation.
Right.
So that justifies us dabbling in completely insane conspiracy theories.
Hillary wasn't a part of the Biden administration.
She wasn't. You're right.
There's only one reason she shows up to say, hey, you guys, because it's in her self-interest. She believes she's campaigning. Because that would have been, I don't know when exactly it happened. They said by 2024. But let's go back to, what was it, October of 23? Anderson Cooper. I forget the guest he had on, but saying, well, come on. Kamala Harris remaining on the ticket. Should he change if he's going to run again? Should there be a change on the ticket? So the point is that if the word is out on the street inside the Beltway, Hillary's vying for the job. They're trying, at that point, think about this. It would make sense. Convince Joe not to run again. But you got to do it in time enough to give Hillary the head start. Hillary wants it. Nobody's even thinking, and they weren't thinking Kamala Harris at all, ever. So back at whenever this was, mid-23, late 23, but by, they say, 2024, Hillary's approaching, and she's issuing a concern at that point. Well, everybody knows why she's there. She wants to be the one. She wants to be ushered in. There's no doubt in my mind, which tells me more and more, and we know that they knew this then, but this is more confirmation if this is all accurate and true. But I have no doubt in my mind that they all knew. And there was concern about it. Great concern about it. And as Anderson Cooper pointed out, then in the fall of 2023, great concern about Kamala's viability. That she's not a strong point on the ticket if Joe is to remain in. Which is why you would get to the point of, well, then everybody out, baby and bathwater, let's go with Hillary.
Well, yeah, because you think about that. That is something that she might have been thinking at that time, or the people around her, or anybody else. Look, they're not going to go with Harris.
Right.
Because she's a walking nightmare,
right,
and she has her cognitive abilities. So to sit there and say, or she's supposedly supposed to have her cognitive abilities, but doesn't sound like at times that she does. So the last thing we're going to do as a party, if we get rid of Joe, we get rid of her.
Right.
Therefore, Hillary can
I think up to
right
that point, I think up to that point, it was assumed all we have to do is get rid of Joe, and she's gone too. We're there because nobody's looking for her.
Well, that's the reason they didn't want to have a primary and let the people decide. Because if the people decided, the people of the Democratic Party that actually get to vote in the primaries,
right,
they probably would have said, we don't want her.
Right. But if Joe makes the decision to step down and not run again, not step down, but to not run again early enough, then Hillary's got the money. She can jump in with the campaign, and nobody's going to touch her.
Does make sense. That's if Eric's hypothesis that Hillary only acts in her self-interest is true.
And does she have any extra Ambien laying around?
Yeah.
I'm just asking questions is all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing.
This is fun. 866-90-RED-EYE.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Almost a complete 7 months into the year, and U.S. tornado numbers are already at their second highest annual total on record. And with the possibility of a second tornado season in parts of the South this fall, USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey and others believe a new record year for tornado activity is in reach. Yet Rippey also acknowledges that the increasing number of tornadoes over the years is a product of meteorological forecasting innovations in use.
We have data going back to the 1950s, historic data. But back then we didn't have really radar systems, and we didn't have population centers, we didn't have storm chasers. And so we missed a lot of tornadoes in its early days. So when we talk about tornado statistics, at least in numbers of tornadoes, we really focus on this modern era, the last 30 to 40 years when we've had better coverage. And certainly in the last 20 years or so, we've had almost total coverage. We rarely miss tornadoes anymore. So these modern counts are pretty accurate.
I'm Ron Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
It's Red Eye Radio. We are Eric, Harley, and Gary McNamara over here. Healthcare giant Kaiser Permanente is suspending transgender surgical procedure for teenagers at facilities nationwide in response to the Trump administration's actions. About time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They paused the transgender surgery for all patients 18 and under, a major victory for the federal government. A major victory for children.
Yeah, this is only a Trump win. No, This is a win for children.
Jeez.
How that was going on in the first place is mind-boggling.
I know. How the hell did that rot ever enter
I don't
a hospital setting?
I don't get it.
In response to these federal actions, many health systems across the country have paused and discontinued providing gender-affirming care. The fact that they use that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you use that as a doctor,
Bye.
you should lose your license.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's just
if you're performing that on children under 18, you should go to jail. Yeah. You should be in prison.
Yeah. It's pure damn evil.
It is.
Just amazing.
Just mind-boggling how that happened.
How does that culture of evil get into the hospital setting?
I don't know. I really don't.
And then they defend it.
I don't know. They're fighting for this.
Yeah. Yep.
My gosh. My gosh.
The Trump administration's actions have caused numerous hospitals to shut down their gender transition practices in recent weeks, with each serving as a win for the federal government. By the way, this is from National Review. They're writing it this way. As if, it's just a win for the federal government.
That's a win for the effort to protect children.
Unbelievable.
Watch all 5 hours of the show live every night on the Red Eye Radio app. Available in the App Store. Red Eye Radio.
And he is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Welcome. You know, it's almost as if, can we take off for the rest of the summer? Because the same arguments are being recycled by the Democrats over and over again.
Yeah, they are.
It's the same argument.
Yeah.
You know, the United States has pulled out of the negotiations for an attempt for a ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza. And then you saw all the complaints that people are starving in Gaza again, and it's Israel's fault.
Right.
And Mike Huckabee, who's the ambassador to Israel, said, what are you talking about? Here's all the food. It can be delivered whenever you want.
Right.
And you show truckload after truckload after truckload. It says the UN is basically being controlled by Hamas, that the food is there.
Mm-hmm.
But here's part of the argument. And look at it. It's the same dang argument that we had a few years ago.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same argument over and over again on the same things that Democrats hold the 20 in an 80-20 issue.
Mm-hmm.
But here we go again. All right, let's get the audio cut ready to go here. Here we go.
Can't be debating basic human dignity here. If people deserve to be starved.
Do you think the people who were murdered and raped and taken hostage on October 7th were given basic human dignity?
Of course
Because
not.
I don't.
Those are
when I
war
went to the
crimes.
Nero's
Obviously
kibbutz,
should
when I
be
went to the
punished.
Nova
So
Music
is mass
Festival site,
starvation.
and I heard the firsthand stories of the people who had family members murdered and taken hostage, who had sexual atrocities
Scott,
committed against them.
do you think they want
no
children to
human
starve to
dignity.
death?
Scott,
They were treated like animals.
Obviously,
Absolute animals.
the perpetrators of October 7th are despicable.
And they're still in charge.
Hold on. The perpetrators of October 7th are despicable. But the question is, are you holding a 3-month-old baby who is starving to death accountable for things that baby did not do?
No, I'm holding Hamas accountable.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same stupid damn argument over and over again, which by default says it's just Israel against the children. It's Israel and the United States that are just starving the children. Is a child responsible for it?
Just
That's and I told
weird
you
and it's bizarre because she stated that those responsible for October 7th, those are the ones still in charge.
yeah.
That's clearly who he holds responsible, who everyone of critical thinking holds responsible. Do you hold a 3-month-old baby responsible? Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Because that's a stupid question.
And I said, that's the problem. And we had talked about this earlier. One of the reasons that I stopped a long time ago doing anything taped for anything in media, and why I stopped, even doing, I wouldn't do panel discussion shows anymore, because they set the wrong premise with the question that is asked consistently to Scott Jennings, as you've seen recently, where it's a child. Are you holding a child responsible? When the question itself is bogus. It's a bogus question. The child's not relevant. The child itself is not relevant to the discussion. It's Hamas. That's it. So are you saying that, I would ask the question back. So are you saying that if it was just children and families that the United States and Israel would deny those innocent people food? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
You need to throw back the stupid argument back at them. Throw it right back in their face.
It really is insane.
Because their goal is to put you on the defensive as if you don't care, because is it a child's fault?
Yeah.
No, it's Hamas's fault.
Like you're going to come out and say, yes, I believe it's the baby's fault. Where did the baby get all those missiles? Where did the baby get the ability to attack people on October 7th? It's stupid.
I could imagine the firebombing in Germany and also Japan today. Well, but we've had hundreds of thousands of people killed, and we're going to have to go in there. Either we go in there house by house and we lose 500,000 more people, or we firebomb. Well, then are you holding a child And are you holding a child responsible? Are you holding innocent people responsible? No, we're holding Hitler and Tojo responsible. To go back to World War II.
It's like being in a courtroom, and the suspect is sitting there, and says, "Well, are you holding that person in the back of the room responsible? Huh?" It's insane. I'm holding Hamas responsible for that baby being starving, too.
Yeah. Hamas is the only reason that baby is starving. The only reason the baby or anyone is starving in Gaza, to answer her question.
It's
the
Hamas.
Only reason is Hamas. The United States and Israel have nothing to do with it. Nothing.
Eliminate
it's all
Hamas, and you have a very different and peaceful situation.
If Hamas wasn't there, would the aid be there? And what has Hamas done? So shut up.
It's insanity. It really is.
You just shake your head. You're just like, do these people, how do their brains work?
I don't think they do. Not properly, anyway. That's not a strong argument at all. It's easily defeated.
That's a horrible argument. And finally, CNN covering the most important stories out there. On Coke with sugar or Coke with corn syrup.
Okay.
Now, as we found out a couple of days ago, the United States will have the option. It existed anyway here. You could get Mexican Coke here, which has, by the way, it would be an import, though.
Right.
Mexican Coke has cane sugar in it. But Harry Enton, who does all their polling, didn't do polling, but did a survey of his own from the employees to find out whether they like corn syrup or sugar better. And everybody says they like sugar better because we hear, well, corn syrup isn't the best for you, and so everybody prefers sugar.
Right.
But do they actually in blind taste test? So he did his own blind taste test. Here we go.
All right.
It's interesting. There's been one study that was done that compared, essentially asking folks, what do you prefer the taste of, regular sugar or high fructose corn syrup? And it turns out that the American people say that they prefer regular sugar. Look at this. By a 2-to-1 margin, say Coke with sugar tastes better. Now, I must tell you that I think that this is a crock of baloney, because that includes folks who, A, have never even had Coke with sugar before, but it's also the fact that it was not a blind taste test, which I think is so important. Now, as someone who has, in fact, had many of Cokes with sugar, because kosher for Passover Coke cannot have corn syrup in it, I also have developed a little bit of an interest in this topic. So I decided, you know what, screw these studies, let's actually conduct our own taste test, which I did with our AC 360 staff earlier today. And we can show the results of that, but I also want you to partake in your own taste test right here. We have 4 different Cokes for you. We have a Coke that comes in a plastic bottle. We have a Coke that comes in a glass bottle. We have a Coke that comes in a can. And then we have Mexican Coke with sugar as well. And at the end of your test, Mr. Berman, you'll tell me how it is, but I will tell you that the folks on the AC 360 team, which one did they prefer? They, in fact, preferred not Coke with sugar. They actually preferred a glass with corn syrup, 4-3 over with sugar, canned corn syrup 3, and a plastic corn syrup 1. What did you feel?
I think I may have liked C the best.
You liked C the best, and according to what I have here, C is, in fact, with a can. It is a can. It is not, in fact, the one that was the Mexican Coke, which was, in fact, A.
So there you go. So it was 3 for Coke with sugar, and then they gave all the different ones with corn syrup because they come in different. The sugar only comes in a bottle, so they gave that. But they gave the 2. They gave the glass, the plastic, and the can for the corn syrup. And by a 8-3 margin, people chose the corn syrup over sugar. So he didn't explain that, I think, well enough. but I have the chart in front of me. My point is, Trump, for everything we're talking about Coke, isn't the boycott still going on for conservatives and Republicans over Coke because of the Georgia election law?
Mm.
Remember, they were all a part of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember because I have a late friend who passed away earlier this year who always reminded me I'm not supposed to drink Coke Zero.
Oh, okay.
And I asked her 6 months before she passed away even, and she said, no, you can't drink it yet. I always went for her permission. Can I have a Coke Zero yet? She goes, nope, because of the Georgia election law. How soon we forget, Republicans and conservatives.
Well, that's the boycott of the week, right?
Well, I think I'm the only one still boycotting.
Well, and here's what it comes down to in terms of a choice. Most people buy on the price point.
Yeah.
If the syrup, the high fructose corn syrup version is going to be cheaper than people are going to, and people who drink soda on a regular basis, that's the route they'll go.
And because of the tariffs that we have on sugar, sugar is double the amount in the United States than it is around the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
We pay twice as much for sugar to protect the sugar industry in the United States.
Right.
That's why they went to corn syrup Coke.
Right.
Because it's cheaper to produce. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, steel tariffs. The United States now has the highest price for steel in the world.
Yeah, I was just reading earlier that there's going to be pressure, new pressure on Trump to reduce or eliminate the steel and aluminum tariffs. I don't believe he's going to.
Well, there's a number of articles. We brought one yesterday. The auto industry and the unions are furious.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier now because of the trade deal. He's walking around about the Great Japan deal, and the automobile industry and the unions are going, what are you talking about?
Right.
You've made it now cheaper to import Japanese vehicles than vehicles that are made in America with parts from Mexico and Canada.
Right.
So you made it more expensive to produce vehicles in North America that have many more American parts to it, to Japanese vehicles that are imported from Japan that have way fewer American parts. You've made it easier to do that, and the steel tariffs are part of it, and the 25% on auto parts is the other part of it.
What about Coca-Cola? What will be more expensive? The imported Mexican Coke with sugar or the American-made Coke with sugar?
And you notice that the administration yesterday, with that criticism, haven't touched that one. And even the Wall Street Journal, they said that expect it to be reversed because the pressure is going to be put on. Trump can't win that one. Trump can't win a trade deal that makes it cheaper to import totally made Japanese vehicles with hardly any U.S. content over automobiles assembled in the United States with Mexico and Canada components and much more American components. Does the right hand know what the hell the left hand is doing?
You got to either reverse the deal with Japan or you got to do away with steel, aluminum, and parts tariffs.
Yeah. And they were talking about the fact they had a sentence in there that said the reason that automobile stocks went up yesterday is because they believe the president, he's got to reverse it. When this becomes mainstream, the president cannot win that one where he's done a trade deal where it makes it cheaper to import Japanese vehicles than build in North America with much more American content.
Right.
866-98 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. It will be interesting to see where the Epstein thing goes over the next a couple of days. But as I was saying to start the last segment, it seems like, because the House is done, the Senate will still be done, and it seems like the media is just recycling the same thing, and it's the same arguments over and over again. We played a couple of them from Scott Jennings. I looked at you and I went, oh, man, can we get off like The View did? How long is The View going to be off? They said
they take a hiatus every year.
Yeah.
Whatever until September, I think they said.
We take weeks vacation, they get a hiatus. What's the difference? Can't we take hiatuses instead of vacations?
Yeah. I'd like to take a hiatus. I'm going to take a 2-day hiatus starting right now.
Okay. Let's do that.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.